Resource manager analyzes the KPI cards, choose the resource management for project space. To open the app, select the resource management for project style. The number in the card header shows all resources that are assigned to one of your cost centers. The number of open requests decreases by 1 if the following applies. A resource is staffed on one of the project roles for which you are the responsible resource manager. The start date of the project role according to the work package occurs during the next 4 calendar months. For example, between April 1st and July 31st. The project role is fully staffed according to that effort. So all resources next 4 months, staffed hours and free hours, total available hours. So open resource request, all resources request. The number of open requests increase by one of the following applies. A new project role is created. The start date of the project role according to the work package occurs during the next 4 calendar months or months. For example, between April 1 to 31st July. A service organization for which you are the responsible resource manager is assigned to the new project role. Open means the request has not yet been staffed. Partially staffed means a resource has been assigned to the request, but assignment does not cover all the required hours. Overstaffed means a resource has been assigned to the request for more than the required number of hours. Check the number in the card header as well as any overdue, due, and upcoming requests. The number of due requests goes up when the project role is created, whose start date according to the work package is between the due period in weeks and overdue period in weeks. The number of overdue requests goes up when the project role is created, whose start date according to the work package is between the current date and the overdue period in weeks. The number of upcoming requests goes up when the project role is created, whose start date according to the work package is after the due period in weeks. So there are overdue requests, but no due or upcoming requests. To view more cards, click here to scroll down. The number in the header is the sum of the number of resources whose utilization over the next 2 months is below the free capacity threshold, plus the number of resources whose utilization above the overbooked threshold. The number in the header goes down by 1 if a resource with a free capacity is staffed on the project role that requires enough hours to increase the utilization above the free capacity threshold. The monthly bar shows the number of overbooked resources and the number of resources with free capacity. To return to the top of the screen, click here to scroll up. This card shows the 5 resources with the lowest utilization over the next 2 months. It also shows the total number of resources whose utilization is below the free capacity threshold. So the card shows 5 of 29 such resources. The total goes down by 1 if a resource with the free capacity is staffed on project role that requires enough hours to increase the resources utilization above the free capacity threshold. The overbooked resources card shows the 5 resources with the highest utilization. If there are more than 5 resources whose utilization is above the overbooked threshold, then the total number is also provided. When you have overbooked resources, the total number goes down by 1 if resource is removed from a project role so that resources utilization falls below the overbooked threshold. In the staffed and required hours by role card, the number in the header is the total number of required project roles in resource requests. The total number goes up by 1 if another role is required in the resource request. The bar shows the top 5 required roles according to the number of required hours. Each bar shows the required hours and the staffed hours are hours per role in descending order from left to right. You have successfully analyzed the KPI cards.